Well, good afternoon, everyone. Excited to announce 14 young men that have signed onto our program and a 15th that we'll talk about a little bit later on. But um, really excited for our staff to be able to bring these young men into the fold. It's been a challenging time, as we all know, and to think how long we've been recruiting so many of these some of these players, and the fact that none of them had an official visit. None of them we were able to go see at the school. None of them we were able to have a home visit with. Everything was done virtual. Everything was done via Zoom. Um, a few kids have been on campus maybe when they were juniors, which obviously helped us quite a bit in the long run. But I know there was a handful of guys that we don't believe have ever been on campus, even not even coming up on their own sometime in the summer or fall. And what a challenge that is. And that shows you the confidence that these young men and their families have in what we're doing here at Kansas State, confidence in the relationships that they have been building with Taylor Bratt, the recruiting staff, the position coach, the recruiting coach, myself, the head coach, that we were able to sign such a quality class in the limited resources and limited time that we had face to face with these guys. So thrilled for these guys. It's a special day. I don't care what kind of pandemic year, all that other stuff. What a special day for these young men and their families to know where they're going to college, to be able to be a part of the K-State family. We're excited because it's a great day for us at Kansas State to welcome these young men and their families. And so we couldn't be more thrilled to have these guys. And we had a pretty good Zoom this morning with a number of them and celebrated. We did something different that we hadn't done. We had cameras kind of put up all over veneer, weight room, outside my office, trophy area, offices, and had a bunch of them on together and started to build that bond with each other. And it was a pretty cool morning. So excited about these guys, and we'll open it up for questions.
First one here from Derek.
Yeah, Coach, we always hear about a player that just looked like a totally different prospect from his junior film to his senior film. Do any of the 14 guys jump out to you when it comes to that? Just that big leap in that small window?
It's probably hard to answer that because a lot of them we didn't see as juniors other than on film, and maybe didn't see their body frame. And then you watch a limited amount of games that they did have in their senior year. Some guys played only a handful of games, and a few guys got a full season. Some guys maybe only gotten one or two games, but just somebody that jumps out at me that I was able to go see in person. I was able to go see Devontae Pritchard in person play when he was a junior. And I thought right away, there's a kid that is a Big 12 football player that will come and will strike you. Was a really good athlete on offense as well, but on defense is where we're going to play him. And Devontae was a kid that jumped out at me really quickly it's going to be a phenomenal Big 12 defensive player.
And then I know you want to talk about the guys you landed, but with the recruiting being what it was, did you feel like you guys ran into situations a number of times where you could have been in on a kid but couldn't because you couldn't get that visit?
Potentially. I don't know that for a fact, but I know this: the ones that we have been on and stayed on and have had phenomenal communication with and committed to us early, we were able to hold. And that's the thing that I was excited about, and give Taylor Bratt and Chuck Woolley so much credit because they were the behind the scenes guys that kept us up to date as coaches and kept in contact with those guys. So we're excited about this class, and I know there's some tremendous football players in here.
You might need an early impact guy at receiver. Is RJ Garcia someone that you think can do that?
Yeah, RJ's a really talented player from Berkeley Prep, and his dad's a basketball coach, so he's grown up in the coaching world and understands it. Really mature player. He's put on some added weight already. Had a good season for them in his senior year, and he will be here in the summer, and we're excited about him. As well as Brennan Hawkins is a big body, is a 6'4" wide receiver that'll be here as well this summer. So we feel good about adding two wide receivers.
Thanks, Coach.
Kellis?
Hey, Chris, I know it's super early here, but how good do you project Jake Rubley to be as a college quarterback?
Well, we're excited about Jake. We've been recruiting him for an awful long time. He's been on campus a few times. I go way back with his father, TJ, that grew up in Iowa, Davenport, Iowa guy, and I hosted his dad on an official visit at Northern Iowa back in the late 80s. So I've known TJ for a while, and so I know the pedigree. TJ played in the NFL, and it was a great quarterback at Tulsa, and Jake's very much in the same mold as his father. And Jake loves the game of football. And that's what you're looking for from the quarterback position, is somebody that loves the game of football, that is a sponge to want to come in and learn from Coach Klein and learn from Coach Mess and get in our system quickly. And he's got a really strong arm, really accurate player. And we're excited to add another piece to that quarterback room.
Did landing him so early in the process help bring in other guys during the 20 cycle?
Yeah, absolutely. When he actually committed to Coach Klein and I the day of the Liberty Bowl last year, and that was really great news that day, and lifted our spirits after a tough game. But he absolutely did a great job of trying to help out, and maybe kids reached out to him. And when you land somebody of Jake's caliber, I think people take notice, and it definitely helped us.
And I also wanted to ask, is it cool for you personally to land a kid from North Dakota? I can't think of the last one of those who came here.
Yeah, Andrew Liongang, so excited. Andrew came down for our Iowa State game last year. Got to see the cold, windy day, and he just said that was a typical day in North Dakota. That was they're really used to it, and Andrew knows how to win. All they do at Bismarck Century is win state championships, and he won another one this year. And we were fortunate enough to land Andrew. He's a versatile offensive lineman that can play guard or tackle. Very athletic, very physical, great personality. People are going to really enjoy getting to know Andrew, and that's Carson Wentz's high school as well. So Coach Wingenbach helped us out, get another guy from Bismarck Century, and we're just thrilled to have Andrew and his family join our family.
John?
Yeah, Chris, I know you answered this in context of RJ Garcia earlier, but are there a couple of players from this class you feel like have a real chance to make an impact early for you guys?
Well, we hope they all can have an impact early. You don't know when that's going to be as far as based on positions, based on needs, based on injuries, based on all that stuff. But, we've told everyone to be prepared to come in here and compete, whether it's, the 4-game rule is such a huge factor. I don't care if you're a linebacker, a wide receiver to a lineman. Carver Willis played, and I know this was a free year, but Carver Willis played for us as a true freshman. So in the offensive line, so everybody has that opportunity. And that's something that I know that excites people right now with us building our roster and continuing to build depth on our football team, that if you show up and do things the right way, learn our system, buy in, be a team guy first, you have a great opportunity to see the field early.
Obviously, it's been pretty well publicized how heavy the transfer market is this year, how many kids are in the portal right now. How hard do you guys plan to pursue transfers as things move on here?
Yeah, well, we're going to have to a little bit, but we're still having conversations with seniors. So we don't know where that's going to land with a handful of guys that haven't made that decision, if they're going to come back or not. But, we, like everybody else, will continue to try to help build our roster and make sure that, we're equipped at all positions to be able to handle a tough Big 12 schedule for 2021.
We know you'll have Jake and Will, obviously, a quarterback next year. Do you have an update on Skyler and whether or not you anticipate him being back?
He and I are visiting later on this week. It was kind of the plan all along, was he was continuing his rehab, and I was going to get through signing date, and then Skyler and I probably on Friday we'll have a conversation, and we'll see where his mind's at.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thanks.
Yeah. Derek?
Yeah, Coach, you signed 14. A lot of them were committed for quite a while, but did any of them kind of make you sweat up until this morning at all?
No. And that's what's really neat about this class is we've been talking to these guys for so long and communicating with these guys for so long, and they have been communicating with each other for so long that they really developed a bond together. And so we had all of them in relatively early today based on what time zone they were in. And last night when we had a staff meeting, middle of the evening, we talked about that. Were we worried about anybody? And we really weren't. We were very confident that these guys were going to sign, and they've been with us all along. They knew the struggles of COVID and the struggles this year that everybody has had, and they never wavered. And that's the sign of the right kind of guys that are going to impact your program.
I know this was your third class, but your second full class at Kansas State, where you were there for the entire time. This was not an ordinary year, but how has your recruiting approach, I mean, at least in any detail, kind of evolved since you've been at Kansas State?
Well, we're learning. For sure it's evolving, and it's evolving every year, and we have to continue to talk about it as a staff. And, this year was so unique that for us, finding guys within a drivable distance was very, very important. And, moving forward, we still need to win in the state of Kansas. That's first and foremost. We need to win in the state of Kansas. We're winning games with a lot of Kansas kids, and that's going to be our focal point. And then branch it off from there. And it's kind of have a circle around that and see who can drive here 4, 5, 6 hours. And then obviously we're going to still hit the areas of Texas and Georgia and Florida and some upper Midwest kids, obviously, like we did with Andrew from North Dakota from a specific position with the B&O line. So we'll still have our main footprint. But in the same respect, we have to go inside out. We have to be able to win in Kansas first.
And my last question for you is when you're looking at what you've done so far, you have 14 guys in, but there's clearly more spots available. Was that by design? Do you think you're going to use February like the traditional one as well?
That's a good question. We're still evaluating some. We still have some scholarships available. We're still really looking hard at some kids to give them an opportunity to walk on, because there's so many kids that have walked on to this program dating back to when Coach was here to just in the last couple of years. So many walk-ons have earned scholarships here. It's a great place for walk-ons to come because they know they're going to get an opportunity. They know they're going to get treated fairly. They're going to get treated well and have a chance to have an impact and earn scholarships. So we'll continue to look at some walk-on guys, as well as keep looking at our overall depth. We still need to probably wait a week or so, get some answers from some seniors and see where we need to fill in.
Thanks, Coach.
Hello, Coach. This is a very exciting day, obviously, for the signees and for the football staff, but it also comes in the same day when K-State announced a pause in its football activities and its withdrawal from bowl game consideration. Can you share your thoughts and reactions on that?
Yeah, I was disappointed. If you'd asked me a week ago, how are the preparations for bowl games going, or for bowl game was going, and I would have said really well. I'd had a number of conversations with Gene Taylor, and we fully believed we were going to be invited to a bowl, and I expressed that to the guys that it was probably going to be one of two bowls. But did you guys want to play? And they all were like, yeah, we want to play. And so we were working just with our young kids all of last week and had 4 great practices with kids that had not practiced or missed 30-plus days. And then over the weekend, we had several kids not feel well. And a handful of those guys tested positive. And then you throw in the close contacts to those handful of guys that we had test positive. And we've got really smart people around here in our medical profession that the track record says when you have the amount that we had in a 2-day span, we're probably going to get a few more, whether it's in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. And when you look at having to pause, and we were actually having a little dodgeball tournament, and I got a call that from Matt Thomason that we were going to pause. And so you combine those things, not knowing when you're going to restart, as well as the amount of kids that are kind of bandaged together or either scheduled to have surgery or already had surgery. We just didn't think we could probably pull it off. And we did not want to be in a position where we would have accepted a bowl invitation on Sunday, and then we have a testing on Monday, and we'd had 6 more kids test positive, and put ourselves in a position where we'd have to renege on something. And I just didn't want to do that. And I had long conversations with Gene Taylor, and I'm at peace with the fact that we're doing the best we can for the health and safety of this football team now and moving forward. And so hopefully these kids that have gotten positive aren't going to be real sick and can get through it.
Jake?
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you, what stands out to you the most about Devon Weathers, knowing the program he comes for in Webb City, and just what the type of player he can become for Kansas State?
Well, for starters, he comes from a tradition-laden program, and Webb City's been phenomenal for decades. And Devon was fun to watch because we didn't know to project him as a defensive back, a linebacker. We knew he could be a running back. And so at his size and athleticism, he's a phenomenal baseball player too, but at his athleticism, we said, we just got to get the kid in the program. We wanted to, we'll find wherever we can to put him. And then as you kept watching his senior tape unfold, it became more and more clear to us that he's that big back that's got great speed, great elusiveness, can run through arm tackles, that we're excited to be able to pair back there in the backfield and utilize him there and be a great special teams player. And I just think athletically, when you have somebody with his skill set and the ability to run and be physical like he is, he was going to be a can't miss and would help us somewhere. But we'll start him out at running back.
Got 3 hands raised. We'll go through those, starting with Kellis.
Yeah, Chris, linebacker seems like an important position for you guys, especially building youth moving forward. What can you tell us about the 2 guys you signed here in this class?
Well, we're excited. We talked about Devontae already, and I saw him play. And then you want to watch a kid on film in Gavin Hasselhorst. You're not going to see a kid that loves the game and plays the game as hard as Gavin does on an every down basis. And he's played some defensive end. He's played some stand-up for Hayes, and we see him as a kid that we know could play that, but we see him at the next level being an inside linebacker, just how physical he is. He doesn't get blocked. He plays the game the right way. He understands the game of football well. So it gives us, some really good young players in there to be able to build off of. And I'm excited about those 2 guys because they love football and they're physical guys.
Adam?
Coach, as this is your 3rd year recruiting for K-State, is your main focus when you're recruiting to bring in players that would be the best for K-State, or are you also looking around at what's going on in the recruiting action of the whole Big 12 so that way you know more of what you're competing for?
No, we just focus on ourselves more than anything and how they can impact our program offensively, defensively, special teams, how they can impact what we're doing as far as getting the right kind of guys with high character and integrity in here. Do they want to play at K-State? And we're not going to beg anybody to come to Kansas State. Kansas State's too special of a place. And we have kids that generally want to be here. And so for us, we just focus in on what we're looking for and what we need. It's just like if somebody's a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, whatever, do they fit what we're looking for? And that's the most important thing for us.
We'll go last one here, John, and then we'll have Coach announce our 15th signee.
I was just going to ask real quick, Chris, on Joe Irvin, player that opted out for you guys. Is the plan right now, you still think things are on track for him to come back?
Yeah, the plan is for Joe to come back once we start second semester, you bet.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Awesome. Well, I get to announce our 15th signee in Gunnar Reed, and we call him G-Man. And Gunnar's from Overland Park, Kansas, was born in Salina, and will graduate from Shawnee Mission West High School this May. But you talk about somebody that embodies toughness, resiliency, character, integrity. always has a smile on his face. G-Man's been through an awful lot. G-Man's been through 36 surgeries and 3 open heart surgeries. And Taylor Bratt, and we had a Make-A-Wish Foundation day with G-Man on our Zoom with some players a few weeks ago, and he had an impact on all of us. And to see what he's fighting through on a daily basis, and to see the fight and resolve that he has gone through with a smile on his face, puts everything into perspective for me. And so as we continued on and visit with him, we had him on the sideline with Taylor at Baylor during pregame and showing some things that talking to our guys during pregame and stuff. I sent him an audience of one bracelet that I got from Carson Wentz, and Carson helped me get another one for G-Man, and G-Man's wearing that thing with pride, because we do it for the good Lord and for everybody that's blessed us to have the opportunities that we have. And G-Man's our hero. And when I had a chance earlier this week to visit with Coach Bratt, and Taylor and I decided we're going to sign him. And he's going to be a Kansas State Wildcat for life. And it's tough, because as tough as this has been for us as a season, as tough as this has been for these players, nobody's as tough as Gunner. Nobody's as tough as G-Man. Nobody's as tough as his family, to persevere and to go through what he has gone through his whole life. And to do it with the pride he has. And he loves Kansas State, he loves the Chiefs, and he loves the Royals. And I know that those 3 teams help him through every day. And any bit of joy we can provide for him, we're going to do that. And I can't thank our players enough for reaching out to him on so many different occasions and lifting his spirits, because this is a young man that is going to be a Wildcat for life, and Iman. And we love you, G-Man, and we're always rooting for you. We're always praying for you, and so happy to welcome you to the K-State family. So appreciate everybody, and hope everybody has a great Christmas.